Good morning and happy Wednesday. Another hot day in Costa Mesa, California. Hope you're keeping cool. Hope you're keeping safe. Hope you can actually hear me. I think I'm rolling. So anyway, if you can't hear me, then I'm going to go ahead and read chapter 12 today of Key to Solomon's Key, Secrets of Magic and Masonry, or is this the lost symbol of Masonry? Okay, it looks like people can hear me. This is chapter 12, Initiation. And there's a short epigram. In short, whoever finds this house is ruler of the world, Solomon of his time. Rumi. In the first chapter of this book, I said that regardless of the circumstances surrounding Masonry's creation and development, regardless of the past or present motives and activities of its individual leaders and members, the craft is indeed the custodian of a profound and fundamental secret. I also made what to many may have sounded like a presumptuous and audacious remark, that I possess the key to that secret. I here repeat that assertion. If, however, you were hoping that the nature of the secret takes the form of the mummified body of Jesus, or a gold-plated Ark of the Covenant hidden under the pyramid at the Louvre, or beneath the grounds of the CIA headquarters, or proof of extraterrestrial origins of the British royal family, then I'm afraid you're about to be disappointed. For although wonders such as this may well exist, and someday be brought to light, their discovery would only serve to slightly readjust our view of mundane history as it relates to religion and politics. The real secret is not a document or a book or an artifact. It is something that can neither be taught nor learned. It is an incommunicable fact of life that concerns the most profound wonder in the universe, the mystery of consciousness itself, and our ability to achieve progressively higher levels of consciousness. In order to do that, we must become a new kind of person. And we have to start that process in the same way the legendary Knights Templar did, by first liberating ourselves from the great delusion that keeps most of us in a state of spiritual bondage. The delusion that we do not create our own reality. The delusion that we are helpless victims of someone or something else's reality. This seems like such a little step. But it is in reality a quantum leap of consciousness, a fundamental shift of self-identity. As innocuous as the traditions and ceremonies of Freemasonry may appear, they do, by their very order and structure, elegantly communicate to anyone with eyes to see the essence of the formula of initiation. First of all, we must want to change. In keeping with the most ancient customs of the mystery tradition, Masonry invites no one into her ranks. Each potential candidate must voluntarily apply and swear that he is unbiased by friends and uninfluenced by mercenary motives. I've got a fan on here, so I'm going to turn it off just in case it's bleeding through. Secondly, the initiation ritual itself reveals the threefold formula of evolution. That is, resistance, struggle, and mutation. The candidate submits to this process again and again as he's repeatedly barred from advancement within the lodge room. Then confronted with an ordeal or otherwise purified or instructed. Finally, he's eventually allowed to pass and take his place in the temple. The candidate physically experiences this process on the night of his initiation, but he's also required to embed the experience in the deepest recesses of his mind. He does this by painstakingly committing large portions of the ceremony to memory and then reciting it letter perfect before the masters and his lodge brothers. Until this is done, he is not considered qualified to take the next degree. This is more difficult for some than others, but the ordeal of memorization is vitally important, for once the formula of initiation becomes imprinted upon the subconscious mind, it becomes difficult, if not impossible, to remove it from the psyche. This simple formula, experienced by every Mason in his travels through the degrees, is precisely that outlined in the Egyptian Book of the Dead, and parallels the journey of the deceased as he or she passes to higher and higher levels of post-mortem consciousness. The third and most important factor in the formula of initiation is the act of consciously inserting ourselves into the divine circuitry of the cosmos. One can rightly argue that we are all, at all times, whether we recognize it or not, an inextricable part of the universal and supreme stream of consciousness existence. But it's not until we wake up and recognize our position in this circuitry can we begin the great work, the work of invoking the forces of nature above us so that we may master our own demons and redirect their chaotic energy to build the temple of our own awakening soul. This is what the archetypal Solomon did. And in Masonry, this is expressed in the disarmingly simple admonition, no man, quote, "No man should ever undertake any great or important undertaking without first invoking the blessing of God," unquote. Once again, the Bible provides the key in a simple story that conceals a fundamental secret of magic. The lesson that if we observe, we will gain the power to control the infernal spirits. And if we ignore, we will be assured that the infernal spirits will remain in control of us. The third chapter of the Book of Kings tells us that at the beginning of his reign, the Lord appeared to Solomon in a vision by night and said, "Ask that which I should give you." Solomon answered, quote, "Give therefore to thy servant an understanding heart, to judge thy people and to discern between good and bad. For who is able to judge this thy so great a people?" And it pleased the Lord, because Solomon asked had asked this thing. And the Lord said to Solomon, because you have asked this thing, and have not asked for yourself riches, neither have you asked the lives of your enemies, nor have you asked for yourself long life, but have asked for yourself wisdom to discern judgment. Behold, I have done according to your words. Lo, I have given you a wise and understanding heart, so that there has been none like you before, neither shall any arise after you like you. I'm going to add a footnote here. The Lord has given you a, quote, wise and, quote, understanding heart. And our Kabbalists listening in will know that the Sephirah of wisdom is number 3 on the, is number, wisdom is number 2, and understanding is number 3 on the tree of life. And the heart is number 6. So we've got the 2 major Sephiroth of the supernal triad, number 2 and 3, wisdom and understanding, and Tifereth centered in the heart, which is below the abyss. Before undertaking the task of ruling his people and building the temple, Solomon doesn't begin by consulting with his inferiors, his ministers, his generals, his architects, his building supply contractors, or labor leaders. I'm sorry, I wanted to say, and my pillow guy, but I won't. He doesn't immediately enmesh himself in the energy-draining details of micromanaging such a large and important project. Instead, he turns his attention upward to the highest level of the hierarchical scales of consciousness. He makes a direct contact with deity, and instead of behaving like a helpless youngster asking a parent for pocket money, he boldly makes himself available to serve as a conduit through which deity's infinite wisdom and understanding can pass. This profoundly mature and uncomplicated request is instantly granted, as if deity had no choice but to acquiesce. A unique spiritual hierarchy is created with Solomon enthroned midway between heaven and hell, poised to work in cosmic harmony with the divine consciousness above him, poised to compel the infernal spirits to do the same. This is the primary secret of Solomonic magic. As long as the magician remains plugged in to that which is above, he or she is simultaneously plugged in and must begin to master that which is below. And that's where we'll end today. Tomorrow is chapter 13, The 7 Secrets of Solomon. I hope you enjoyed it okay. I hope you could hear well enough during that first section before I turned my life-giving fan off. But I hope you could hear me anyway. Anyway, continue to be good to yourself throughout these wild and crazy times. Make wonderful moments for yourself. Be good to yourself and be good to each other. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law. Love under will.